I've done that before, where I've like been recording like a Let's Play or something like that, and realized a couple of minutes in that I just started streaming. And so anyone that happened to be there for 5 minutes would have seen just me, no interaction, no nothing, just playing a game they've probably never seen me do before, still talking until I realized and just quickly like shut the shit down, like
delete the VOD.
Because on OBS, do you use OBS or Streamlabs? I know what that means. I know what that means. You're evil and you support evil. Okay. Okay.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah, fair enough, Adolf. But I know I used to use Streamlabs, but the reason I didn't was there was certain things I wanted to integrate that you just can't on that. So like some of the animated, so like I've got animated redemptions with GIFs and shit like that I make, and I just couldn't figure out how to do it on Streamlabs, and so I just went, fuck it, I'll get OBS. But on OBS, probably my biggest beef with it, I do like it a ton. My biggest beef with it is that the streaming and recording buttons are so close to each other that sometimes if you're in a bit of a rush, you just accidentally press the wrong one. Like I would hate to do that as well. Like do the reverse where I start a stream, but actually I'm just recording, and I probably just get really sad because no one will turn up after 10 minutes. And I'll be like, what the fuck is going on? Just get upset.
That's the thing though, right? Like, if you're streaming now, I just checked, you're at 925. Congratulations, by the way, that's a hell of an accomplishment.
Thank you. I've been there forever.
Coming up on a rack.
Yeah, eventually.
You start streaming, 10 minutes go by, your shit is still at 0. What goes through your head?
Resentment, frustration, a feeling of futility. And then, I'm just sorry we're gonna keep talking about this point. I'm gonna go blue as well. I'm gonna buy in. I'm gonna go blue.
There we go.
All right. Resentment, like, and that's I'm not proud to admit that, but I do try to be honest with myself and with friends and with everyone. I feel that, well, there is a part of me though that will say to myself, calm down, it won't be like this, it'll pick up in a little bit. But I feel like I've done and put enough in that I should have a few people in by 10 minutes. And I'm pretty consistent in terms of a schedule. And so it's not, if I'm running a little bit late, or if it's a day that I've changed the schedule around a little bit, I probably won't feel the same way. But yeah, it can be a kind of resentment, a little frustration, and it can really set me off on the wrong foot for a stream.
The path to the salt.
The early salt, the deep salt, the personal salt.
Oh shit.
What about you, man?
Well, me, I agree. Is that entitlement on our part, or is that realism? Like, we've put the work in to feel like we should have something going on once we start up.
I think it is entitlement, but I don't think I think entitlement is a demonized word that is not always. I think over entitlement and undue entitlement is ugly. But it is a form of entitlement. It's a form of expectation where you're used to things going a certain way. But yeah, I believe that, I guess we're told with things that if you put in enough effort, you'll get rewards. And sometimes I just feel like I don't get what I'm due. And I guess that is entitlement, honestly. But I don't think I deserve it by birthright. I don't think I deserve it because I'm naturally better than these other streamers, which I am, but but you know what I mean? Like I feel like I've done these things, what the fuck? But That's just honestly how it is, but it rarely stays that way, and I often feel stupid about it after. Like I'll feel like, oh God, like why did I, even though I might not express it verbally, why did I feel that inside of myself that I was kind of angry and deserved better? You know, people just were, you know, busy, or a few people came in late, or I was streaming at a weird time, or my alert didn't go up, or there's always some reason. But it does kind of send deep existential, filthy emotions into my heart and soul.
Same. I saw something the other day on Twitter where someone said, like, when you have a regular that shows up for an extended period of time, for like months or a year, and all of a sudden they just kind of like drop off the face of the planet,
Yeah.
or you don't hear from them anymore.
Yeah.
Has that happened to you?
Yeah, a ton.
How'd that make you feel?
That's a tricky one, I think, because firstly, no one individual owes you shit. And I've known that's from the jump. I've known that from the get-go. Like, there is no one individual that owes me their time, owes me their money, owes me their kind words, owes me whatever, their support. But you do build these, especially when it's people that are real regulars. When someone's there every day, they sort of become part of the vibe of the whole thing. You sort of, you sometimes imagine how they might respond to, you know, how they're going to respond to a certain thing. You imagine they're in the room, and that can kind of change the way you behave, and you're sort of playing to them as a part of the audience as well. Because I like to have like a sort of picture of everyone who's in there. There's my mods, there's these people, these regulars, and then there's maybe these couple of people, maybe there's a streamer friend in there, and then there's like a blob of, you know, some new people or something like that. But I find that you do develop these, you know, call them parasocial relationships, but you do develop these things with people, and then when they drop off the face of the planet, water, by the way.
Okay, I was like,
I feel
straight from the bottle.
I feel the need to point that out. That's water. I'm drinking a beer, but that is water. Though this was a great wine. This Chilean shit right here. There's Chilean Pinots, man, are fucking grand. They're really light, really easy drinking, quite affordable too. Anyway,
I'll look into it.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, it's happened to me a lot, and well, I don't know about a lot, but it has. I do recall it happening several times, and you sort of wonder why. Is it something I did? Oh no, did I cross the line? And sometimes I wonder if on a more business from a more business standpoint, I wonder if is there like an expiration date on my content being interesting?
Oh fuck.
Which is a really deep, yeah. Do you know what I mean?
You got me feeling away.
They're the tough questions you have to ask yourself, though. Is there an expiration date on this being interesting? Have I run out of fodder? What is it I'm providing? And it's usually that will precipitate me asking myself those kind of questions. But it's tough. It's part of it, though. Like, I know that it happens to everyone. It happens to people who are doing really well as much as it happens to people who aren't doing so well. It is just it's a, I guess, occupational or hobby. What's the equivalent of occupational for a hobby?
Have you gotten a Twitch check?
A Twitch?
Paid?
Have I gotten paid?
Off this?
Yeah.
It's not a hobby anymore, Papa.
Hey!
Real life.
Occupational. Good, because I don't know what the fucking word is for that. Isn't that weird?
We can just skip that shit.
Yeah. Hobby related, I guess you would just say. It's a hobby related hazard. But I was about to say, I thought that you really questioning whether I've got paid from this.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm sitting at 925. What?
But yeah, it does happen a lot, but it does force you to sort of ask those questions. How do you feel about it when it happens, or has it happened to you?
It's happened It's happened. It's only happened one time where the person never came back. Usually people have like shit going on in their lives.
Yeah,
And I'll
yeah,
see
yeah.
they'll pop up after a month or two and be like, "Yo, what's up?" And I'll be like, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Like, or
Yeah.
what's up? What's new?" How do I feel about it? I take everything personally. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
I take everything personally, which is 100% a deficiency of character, but I try to balance that out by being aware of the fact that I take everything personally, which kind of allows me to take a step back and like be like, people have fucking lives outside of the blue
Of
Assegai stream.
course, of
You know what I'm saying?
course. Yeah.
It's not like it could be it could be anything. Now that you mentioned an expiration date on the shit being entertaining, um, I wonder about that too though, because most of the time when people talk about my stream or talk about me in general, as far as like content creation, it's like, oh, your stream's like really mellow, it's fun to
Mm.
come chat and hang out. I don't know if mellow is always entertaining. I don't know if that's something that people stick around for. I don't know if that's like maybe there's an expiration date on being super chill and playing video games.
Mm.
I don't
Mhm.
know. It would be great to be like, you ever seen Cheers, the show?
Yes, but not on any level. I know it, and I know what it is. In the
Yeah.
bar.
I would like to be the Cheers of Twitch streaming. Where, hey,
Mm.
Norm, motherfuckers just come in, you know what I'm saying? It's a nice homey environment. I used to watch Cheers to fall asleep because the
Mm.
show was so mellow, it was so cool. It gave such a nice energy as far as seeing people come into a place where everybody knows your name. You know what I'm saying? People come into the Blue Assegai stream. I know what's going on. We talked about this before. Like, I interact with people in a way that's like real. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm.
consider everyone who comes in there even somewhat regularly, at the very least, an acquaintance.
Yeah.
So it's like I enjoy that aspect of it. But
Hmm.
then at the same time, it's like, is this what's gonna make me able to do this for a living?
I would argue that's antithetical to success on Twitch.
Mm,
Um, well, again, last time we did this, you spoke of what does it mean to be successful on Twitch. I'll define it: antithetical to financial success on Twitch.
can you pay your rent with this shit
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
nah?
Hmm. No,
Is the
I
phone bill paid?
well think of Cheers, right? Think of a bar. How many people can fit in a bar?
True.
Like if Cheers was packed to the rafters every fucking day, like if it wasn't just like 20 people hanging around, if it
Mm,
was like 300, like suddenly not everyone knows your name,
wow.
and suddenly it's a club and an and that's cool. But I think just like I really believe that too on some level, and I think that's the point that I have found the biggest barrier is getting beyond that situation, because that's really nice and that's sort of ideal, and that's kind of a vibe that I don't know if I intentionally try to give that off also, but that's just an environment that I like to be in, and a sort of the means of communicating with certain people and having certain in jokes, and I think that's I don't know. What do you think about that? Because maybe the Cheers analogy, maybe I'm reading into that too literally, but I just
No,
feel
it's
like there's a sort of a mass appeal thing that's missing from that.
100%. And actually, that is something I hear from people a lot that come into my stream or I see in other small streamer streams, where people will come in and say, I prefer to watch small streamers because when I go watch a large streamer, I can't interact with them. They don't see
Yep.
my messages. I don't necessarily feel special. I don't feel that level of connection, not only with the streamer, but with the chat. Chat's moving 15 messages a second.
Yeah. How can you
So,
even? Yeah. Who can you communicate with in that chat?
yeah, you're not Norm. Norm, hey, Norm, what's up? You're not Norm in those chats.
Yeah.
You come into a Blue Ass guy or a Porto stream or Annie or, any of our other people who do streams. Like, hey, what's up? Like, how you doing? And if that's something that you crave, if it's more than just, and this is a great segue into one of the topics that I talked about that I mentioned to you.
Mm.
Like, if you're more than, if you come in and the person gives a shit and the chat gives a shit, you know what I'm saying? That's something special. Like when we were playing Magic, right? I talked about
Mm.
like backseating and that interaction that we had.
Hmm.
I was in a space off camera. We talked a little bit about just the ups and downs and the peaks and valleys of streaming and content creation and whatnot. And I was really in a space with Twitch and video games in general. It's like, yo, I'm not enjoying anything that I'm playing that much.
Yeah.
I'm not really getting as much utility out of this. I'm streaming. Most of the time I'm playing video games. I feel guilty if I'm not streaming it because it's like I could be utilizing this time to stream as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was really fucking struggling where I was like, am I about to be one of those people that takes a fucking break from streaming? Am I gonna do that? And then one night I was just like, man, let me try out some Magic, man. Let me just play some Magic. I want to play Magic. I feel like nobody's gonna fucking show up for this. I don't care.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
play some Magic the Gathering.
Mhm.
And I swear that night where you and Maki and everyone came through was one of the most fun nights I've had streaming, period.
So it was very fun. Well, I mean, that's why I hung around for so long because, as we were talking about earlier, as you were saying, you don't hang out in streams when it's just to show your face. Like it's
Mhm.
that was really fun. Like that was a really it was very funny and very fun. And
Tiddlywinks.
Tiddlywinks, man, just fucking wrecking shop. I mean, I don't want to get too into talking Magic because if you get me started, it's over, and then suddenly it's a 5-hour podcast and everyone's alienated. But suffice to say that the deck you created had no right being that good. It had no right to be that good, but it was, which was great. I think you had like 3 files or something.
Yeah.
And I was appalled, but like I had to watch this train wreck, and then the train just kept steaming through, and I was like, well,
Going,
okay,
baby.
tiddlywinks, here we go. No, that was really fun, and I think on another level there was genuine engagement, but you can tell when someone's having a really good time. When someone's really having a good, like when a streamer's really having a good time. And I actually don't think that is as common as you'd think for streamers. You wrote something earlier in the week that you sent through to me, some ideas you had, things you wanted to talk about. And one of these was, do you consider yourself a creative? And I've spoken a little bit about this in the past. There's a bit here to talk about, but there was also another bit you had in parentheses, Hideo video.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. I went to a bookstore randomly and I saw Hideo Kojima's name on a fucking book.
Wow,
And I was
okay.
like, wait, this is awesome. And I pick it up and I open a random page and he's talking about things that he's seen, watched, and experienced, books, games, movies, shows that inspire him
Okay.
and make him feel creative. And even in like the notes at the bottoms, he'll have like the titles of books and movies and be like, check this out because this made me feel this way. What made you decide to read this book, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, this is exactly how I think of creativity. This is exactly how creativity strikes me. I intake a whole bunch of shit from my environment and I pull what I can use from it and it comes out as whatever it comes out.
Yeah.
And it made me feel really close to one of my heroes. So of course I bought the book, which is probably the point. It's good marketing,
Yeah, look at that.
Mr. Kojima. But
no, that's a really good perception of or perspective on what creativity is, and I've thought that too. That we're kind of sponges. It's like a sponge like a filtration mechanism. All these things come in and they sort of blend in, and then something else comes out, and whatever comes out that's the creativity, right? Like experiences, other artistic things, be they visual media, be they film, gaming, music, dance, I don't know. They all kind of come in along with life experiences, and then your personality maybe, or your creative engine or whatever it is, somehow filtrates it, picks things out, adds things, twists things that way. associates them in a way that you want to, and then spits something else out. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
The question
I
is, sorry, continue.
No, go ahead. What's the question? I love questions.
Well, the question is, are you exercising that with Twitch as a streamer?
You know, yes. I remember Twitch is funny. People are funny. Life is funny.
Oh yeah.
The universe is funny. You ever wear like a t-shirt or something that has like your favorite game or show or movie on it? It's a reference to something that only someone who likes some shit that you like will understand. And then you're out and someone's like, hey, nice t-shirt. And you get that real fucking rush of the good neurochemicals. Like, yeah, you know, a lot of Twitch has been that for me. Or like for a while, I had like the Wheel of Time art for my background.
Oh, great art, by the way. Isn't that your favorite book series? I think you say that in your...
Favorite book series. I started reading this shit when I was like, I actually have a book here. When I was like, maybe I keep these around me because just looking at them makes me feel inspired to be creative and do shit.
That's really cool.
Yeah, man, I actually got a bunch of copies of Berserk around here too. I'm getting segue, tangents.
Let's
tangents.
do it. Let's
Anyway.
tangent. Wait. Pull that one up. What's that?
This is also this in the Wheel of Time. So Berserk and the Wheel of Time are my two favorite things to read and consume as far as creativity goes.
Now, what's Berserk? Tell me about Berserk a little bit.
This is a manga that's like early 90s it started, I believe. Dude's kind of a badass and, you know, goes on this epic fantasy type adventure. And the art is insane. The art's all done by one person. The story's all written by one person.
Oh, nice.
Hence, it's been out for 30 years and it's still not done. And unfortunately, the artist and creator just passed away this year.
Oh, shit.
And I actually found out on stream. And that was kind of like
so it's gonna
weird.
Is it just will someone be taking over or?
Good question. I don't know. I guess Dark Horse has some publishing licensing things going on, so maybe they have some notes or something. Or
that's a disaster waiting to happen though. When someone else commandeers a beloved, IP or concept or whatever.
But as far as being creative, like, yeah, I had the Wheel of Time art as my background. I get compliments on it all the time. And that enabled me to talk about something I'm passionate about. Oh, that's nice art. What's it from? I'll be like, hey, it's from this book series where there's these fucking people saving the world and shit. That's really cool. Or even better, I'd have people come in and be like, yo, that's some dope Wheel of Time art you have there.
And they already know it.
Gas me up so much. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, like that was a really good point you made. Like creativity is that filter. It's the life experiences, the things you enjoy, and what comes out of it. Like I read this book series. I've been reading it since I was literally a fucking child. I implemented it. I thought it looked cool. The art was great. Implemented it into my stream. Obviously, I didn't do any of the fucking drawings, but that expression of myself and something I loved connected with other people in a way that they appreciated. And I think that's creative.
Yes.
So I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That's it's at the very least, it's an engagement with creativity, and as you're expressing yourself, there's a certain level of creativity in just everyday. Well, I wouldn't say every day in this kind of expression, right? And I've often wondered where on the, I don't know if it's a spectrum, but where in the realms of if you have the idea of a creator, let's say a writer or an artist, and then you have on the other end a critic, someone who engages with, or a promoter, or someone who their very existence or the existence of what they do is determined on there being things created, but they don't necessarily create these things.
Agents, managers,
yes,
people of that.
And a lot of them, when I did a literature degree, a lot of people who do lit degrees will go into those kind of fields, right? Of lit crit. And a lot of what they taught was lit crit. The fascinating thing about having a lit degree is only a tiny fraction of it was creativity. Like only I did all of the creative writing workshops, but there were only like 3 or 4, as opposed to like 30 or 40 lit crit, you know, romanticism in the, you know, understanding the modern worldview in 19th century Victoria, you know, literature, and, you know, all this kind of, you know, Gothic literature and its predecessors. And that's all really cool. I love that shit too. But that's sort of training people to love things that are creative and be inspired and maybe be inspired to talk about things that are, you know, wonderful and maybe dark and challenging in these creative works, or exciting or whatever. But really, they're just engaging with them. They're not inspired necessarily to do their own stuff. And so I don't think I take the view of some really like edgy creators that view those people as parasitic. Because no, I think they actually help creators as well, in a way, or, you know, if they're doing it in good faith. But I sometimes wonder where a streamer is, if the common creative medium is gaming, though it might be other things, where along that sort of line is the streamer? Because we're not really making the game, but we're sort of riffing off a game a lot of the time, or sometimes you I don't know. It's integrated with it, but it's not creating gaming. But it is creating something that is consumable.
An experience. I mean, but there's also other aspects to it, like my starting soon screen where I took that Morrowind screenshot of my character
That's good,
and put
man.
like some sunglasses on him and shit. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
good.
Like that's thank you. And like you got kind of the vaporwave thing going on. Like even if we're not creating the games, we do create aesthetics around our templates and what people experience while we're playing the game. So that in and of itself is a form of creativity, because you see some of like these esports type fucking layouts, like super cheesy and corny, and then you have something like my boy Deo, man, he's like the best Spyro speedrunner in the world type shit. Very laissez-faire, doesn't take anything super seriously, super scattershot type branding. It's very much him. It's like there's creativity even in how we present ourselves
Yes.
to our audiences.
Yes. I think that's probably the biggest part. That's the most creative part of it. Of this, that would be the biggest part. Interesting you say that my stuff's vaporwave. I haven't thought of it like that.
Got a little, you know, black and white, little pink edges and shit on
There
it,
is
you know
pink.
what I'm saying?
I went, I don't know why. I just thought, fuck, I'm going to go pink.
Best color in the world.
Yeah, fuck it. And,
Mhm.
but you know what? A little insider secret.
Oh,
Ever since I changed to that, my numbers have dropped.
really? Change back.
I had the shit before, which was a smaller, like different dimensions. It was like 4x3 webcam, same webcam, but I was using 4x3, and it had more of a tessellating kind of black and white sort of situation. And it might not be the only reason, but like ever since I changed, it's never reached the lofty heights of prior to it. So I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You just got to go all the way now. You got to have a whole ass vaporwave type shit going on. That's the thing.
That's the thing. I'm like, I guess I didn't consciously think of it as vaporwave. I don't know
It
what
may not be.
I don't know. Well, I don't know what it was. It's PortoWave, I guess. But
There. Hey,
There we-
hold on now.
there we
Let's
go.
stop there. That's creativity.
yeah.
Just did right there. So
right.
now we're gonna think on PortoWave, and that's gonna be a thing now.
There we go. Just
Write that down.
Write that down right now.
Shit.
Yeah, but it is a big thing how you present yourself, because you are presenting a potential entertainer and potential acquaintance and even a potential friend, which is a lot. And you got to make that, and I guess you have to have things that immediately resonate with people
Right.
in the digital age of short attention spans.
Maybe that's where the tags come in that we were hating on.
Oh, let's
So
talk about
fucking
let's talk about the tags. Let's talk about the tags. We said we are going to experiment with the tags.
I didn't. I put them on a couple times, but I didn't go full force.
I put them on once and I just felt dirty. But I have been using So this okay, and here's I'm gonna credit My Name Is Trout for this one. I saw him do it, and I immediately was like, yeah, I have to do this now. He's been using the Chad tag, and it's not for Chad like Alpha Chad. It's for people from Chad, but he's just using it. He's just using it as he's just using it as Chad. Because I don't think they would make one for Chad otherwise. So I've started using
Trout.
Chad. Yeah. It's pretty good. Masculine Chad. They're my tags.
Wow, let's get toxic.
Yeah.
Masculine, Chad.
Masculine Chad.
Wow, what else is in there?
They're the only
We'll
ones
find some
I
names.
can think of. I've used pottery before. I put pottery in there just to toss it out there to see if anyone was
Yeah.
interested. Get those what is it? Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore ghost vibes. Remember that scene?
Oh man, that was real
That's
good shit.
that's
It's one of my
sensual.
favorite movies.
Really,
Yeah,
man. That's actually like really sad, especially because P Swayze died quite young.
yeah.
He became the ghost. Did you ever? Oh shit! We'll cut
Huh?
that out. Did you ever see?
Shit.
Did you ever see Roadhouse?
No, and I need to. I need
Fuck,
to.
man, Roadhouse. Because like I, when I say this, I'm not making fun of Patrick Swayze. I love Patrick Swayze, if only for Roadhouse. Like
Okay.
Roadhouse is an incredible '80s action flick. So
Oh shit.
let me give you a brief synopsis of this
Mm.
film, and I make sure to watch it with good company at least once every couple of years. There's always a time when it's like put Roadhouse on.
When you get here to the States, we're gonna watch
Let's watch
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. All right. So
Okay.
in Roadhouse, here's the theme. So Patrick Swayze plays this guy that is for some reason is just known as like the greatest bouncer in half of the US or something like that. He's just this like legendary bouncer who has a reputation that goes beyond states. And he comes to visit. I think maybe he's retired or something, or he's peaceful nowadays or something like that. But he goes to this bar, which is just a fucking hellhole in some backwater shithole. And there's just he goes and there's just brawls and people are trying to grope the women and shit. And the band has to have like a shield and protection. It's just a comical disaster of a bar that you would never go into if you saw what was going on. And eventually he decides that he's gonna be a bouncer for this bar,
Why
and
the fuck?
he moves into town to be about to like turn this bar around, and like basically he somehow becomes entangled with this whole fucking plot to take over the town by this local tyrant who he lives across a river from and whose girlfriend he steals.
Oh,
And it just gets better and better and better. It's just this fantastic cheesy action flick. There's like
I need to
a
see
lot of
this.
him like topless doing like Tai Chi in the morning at the top of his barn and stuff like that. It's beautiful. A lot of roundhouse kicks. It's very good.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's right up my alley.
absolutely. Just pure 80s entertainment. Let's continue this kind of theme of negativity and toxicity that we that is just seeping from our collective pores.
Mm,
Streaming
streaming
on a
on a bad
bad
day.
day. Now, there are many things that can cause a quote unquote bad day, many external or internal factors. Is this something that you have encountered with any frequency? Is this something that's come up, or is this something for you that you're worrying might come up at some point?
I mean, most like a majority of my days recently have been bad days, and then I still stream. So it's like not only have I encountered it, it's become like a norm, which is actually interesting because it's like maybe it almost feeds itself. It's like, okay, the day's been shitty. How am I going to stream? What's this workflow look like? How am I going to still enjoy myself? and then it gets to a point where the cycle, I'm not sure whether it's the chicken or the fucking egg that came first. Like, am I
Mm.
making my days shitty to like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm expecting them to be or something. It's like, am I making my stream shitty? You know, but bad
Dude.
day streams are definitely a thing. Um, so I'll start out a lot of streams just deadpan, just like, okay, I'm here. I'm gonna do this thing. And then the people that show up, and this is how I know that I find genuine value out of streaming. This is how I know I have a real connection with people. I'm actually excited to see motherfuckers.
Mm.
I'll start a stream not wanting to do it. You know what I'm saying? Not
Yep.
feeling like it, in a shitty mood. And then the people will show up and fucking make me feel better, man.
That's
And
awesome.
that's so special.
That's
You know what I'm
awesome.
saying? That's really, really important that I don't take for granted, and I try to remind myself of, you know,
That's it, man.
and plays into cheers.
That's cheers. That's fucking
Hmm.
it. And that reminds me of probably my first 6 months of streaming. And what I mean to say is that, like, I was more focused on those interactions and how they made me feel. Because it is like hanging out with people, doing the thing that you may just want to do anyway. Hanging out with cool people, doing a thing, you know, a fun thing. And people can make you feel better. And that's awesome, dude. That's really cool. So,
And sometimes they don't, and I'm still salt, and then those streams suck.
yeah.
And I'm just sitting there playing some shit and clearly not enjoying myself. Um,
What do you do to get around that? Like, what do you, or what, like, what's going on in your head? Are you conscious of it and thinking, oh shit, like, damn, I
I'm
got to turn this
super
around?
conscious.
Yeah.
I'm so conscious of it. I'll be like, yo, this fucking sucks. Cause I'll tell I can we'll tell them in a bad mood. You ever get into a stream where you like play like 6 different games because you turn some shit on and you be like, nope, not this one. Like I'm just so the bad mood is compounded by like no consistency in terms of what you're playing, and you're trying to do some shit and the game is pissing you off now. You already been had a bad day before you started gaming,
Mm.
and then you're seeing your viewer count go down. That's pissing you off.
Now you see that those numbers drop, and you just go, oh, fuck
Oh
it.
shit! It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I suck.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and you know, for me, sometimes there's that feeling of when I'm in certain moods, I'm like, I don't want to do this just because, like, I don't, you know what, I don't fucking feel like playing this game today, but it's it's tough because once you go down that spiral of not, once I go down that spiral of not wanting to do this thing and like, no, fuck it. I don't like, sometimes I just don't even fucking feel like playing games. I'll realize half an hour in, I'm like, I don't even fucking feel like gaming right now, but I'm not going to stop. Let's do this shit then. Let's play this fucking, okay, great. And tell me all about the great game that you love. Okay, great. This is, you know, and I'll get really fucking sardonic with it. And that's not cool, man. But
right.
that's like, if you have somebody do any activity, fun or otherwise, 3-4 days a week on a schedule, paid or otherwise, surely you can't expect them to always feel like doing the thing. Like, even sex, man. Like, once
Oh, you lost me on that. No,
well,
go ahead, go ahead.
well, no, like, maybe this could be a weird thing about me then, but I love fucking, and we don't have to get too lewd with this, but you know, I'm a human. I think, judging by the population, most humans love a good fuck.
It's going up.
And people are out here fucking, you know, and that's great, and so do I. But even still, this thing that everyone would say, that's the fucking the goal, and you know, that's when it's the thing when it's not happening in my life that I'm like, oh, if only I could do this, you know. It's sort of has this intangible importance that's both physical, psychological, and somehow beyond both of those things, biological, and so on and so forth. This thing of so much importance, so much pleasure and value. I'll have days if I'm doing it every day, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't feel like doing that. And if someone really wants to do it with me, I want to do it less. It's like, isn't there anything else in your life? Like, don't you want to just like read a book or something? Like, come on, man, there's variety to life. And so the reason I say that is because I think anything can you over an elongated period of time, people are going to experience not really wanting to do that thing or not really feeling in the mood for that thing. And I think bad moods generally precipitate that, or having a bad day generally sort of precipitates that kind of vibe in my streams. Now, do you think it's worth going live on these days?
I think for me, it depends on the context of where I am with my streaming career. For instance, okay, how consistent have I been recently? Is this a thing where I need to put some money in the bank, settle down, put the time in, and just get the rep in? A, to practice and get better, but also B, to not leave people hanging who actually look forward to seeing me do
Yeah.
this shit.
Yeah.
Can I do this in a way that's at least somewhat entertaining so the people who get their cup filled from this are still getting their cup filled?
Yep.
So there's definitely factors that come in. If I've been doing it, oh shit, I've been doing 4 or 5 days out of the Slack week, I'm out of here. I'm not like I'm take my night to myself, you know. But if I've built up some kind of momentum, if I'm getting followers, if blah blah blah, it's like this, that, and the third, it's like maybe I'll, take a deep breath and try to get myself into this bullshit tonight and figure something out.
Yeah.
So context.
Yeah, context is important. And have you ever had one where you know immediately after you go live that you shouldn't have?
100%. Those VODs get deleted before Twitch even saves them on my shit. Just gone. Sometimes I'll go on and I'll tell I'm not even gonna last a half hour. I'm out. This is not gonna happen.
Oh, so you'll stop it after half an hour?
Oh yeah, I've done that before. So
Really?
I just can't.
Man,
I just can't do this.
I wish I had that. I wish I had that in me. Like, I wish I had that, dare I say, bravery to do that. I think, I don't know, maybe not bravery. I shouldn't
Gumption.
blow smoke up your ass too much. But
No, blow.
it's
blow.
well, no, a conviction. Okay, I'll meet you halfway. I'll say conviction.
Right.
To do that, because there's a feeling of like, I'm here now, that I'll go through and I'll drag that shit out. So I had one. I got the Pfizer vaccine this week, and it didn't make me sick or anything like that. I didn't get a fever. I just was sapped of energy, and I had I had the day after and the day after that, I had streams scheduled, and I wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm a bit tired, but that's, that happens. A bit tired. Have a couple coffees. I don't feel sick or anything. Like, what else am I doing? I guess I'll stream. I've scheduled it, and I realized 5 minutes after I went live that this is a bad decision. Like, I'm not all there. I'm just sort of like slumped shoulder. I'm sort of negative, like, even for me, more negative than usual. I think I threw a controller within 10 minutes, and I didn't aggress, like, I didn't like hurl it. I just kind of like, and just walked away for a while, and I just wasn't. And that was one where I'm like, I should not have done this. I should not have done this. I should have taken the day, much like I would have taken the day from a paid job.
Mental health day.
Mental health day, yeah. So how do you? I may have asked this actually, but let's say you realize 10 minutes in, are you always, like, once you've started, I know you said that you'll basically, it's contextual whether or not you'll do the stream in the first place, but once you've started, if 10 minutes in you realize, oof, are you always just cutting it, or are there times where you're like, I'm going to press through this bad boy?
Most times I try to press through, and what I'll do is I'll switch games. I
Mm.
just recently fell in love low key with just chatting. So maybe from now on I'll actually just hop into just chatting, put some
That's
music
all
on.
I ever want to do. I've realized that. All I
Yeah.
don't. It's all I want to do is just chatting. Let's
Hmm.
please. Can we just become just chatting streamers?
I've been thinking about that shit.
Let's
The other
do it.
day, like there was a day around that magic time where I went out and got a burrito late night and
Mm.
came back, was just eating a burrito and just chatting.
Hmm.
And we had so much fucking fun streaming. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, just may never play a video game on here again.
Seriously.
And just, but yeah,
Because that for me, like honestly, that's where I get most of my connecting and interacting done is in conversation. I don't
yeah,
need the conduit of gaming to be the way that I connect with people. It's cool to talk about both liking games, and I do like games. I didn't just pretend to like them to start streaming. I'm doing it even when I'm not streaming. Like I do enjoy them, but like part of me thinks that yeah, part of me wants to become a just chatting streamer as well.
throw a night a week in there.
I used to do the history streams, which was kind of inspired by you, actually. I think we might have
More
spoken
than
about that
kinda.
way back
No, give
when.
me the credit. It's more than
Um,
kinda. I'm
um,
just kidding. But yeah.
but they were really fun. They were really fun as well.
Reading, I keep saying I want to do a stream where I'm reading a book and keep getting told I should do streams where I read books, and I never fucking do it.
Dude, you should though
This
with that
week,
voice. With that voice,
I'm
come on
gonna
now.
do a book reading. I got you ever heard of the Brian Jacques Redwall books?
Yeah, I
They're
used to
like,
read them as a kid.
man, I'm gonna start from book one and just fucking go through the whole
Oh my
series.
god, man, this is it.
Yeah,
This is it.
I'll find some enjoyment out of that.
I
That's
think
good
I
shit.
think you won't be the only one.
Yeah,
Bedtime
but yeah,
stories.
you know,
Bedtime with Blue. Oh, that
ideas.
sounds like porn.
Bedtime with
Bed-
Blue. I like it. I wore a robe. You know what I'm saying? Have some 70s funk type shit playing in the background.
yes. The balance between entertainment and gameplay when streaming. Is this something that you've thought about?
Especially now, yes, often, but it's resurfaced playing Halo.
Okay.
Because especially I'm relatively competitive when I'm playing shooters in general, and I have
I
an
hadn't noticed.
actual love, right? I have a love for Halo. I get pretty toxic playing these games. Um, and you notice when watching other people play shooting games who are successful at it, they're usually not interacting with the chat at all.
No.
Like people come there to watch their gameplay.
Yeah.
Whereas me, I'm not that good at the game. I'll probably never be that good at the game. So I definitely have to strike a balance between not sucking and being entertaining and interacting so that when I do suck, I can fall back on the fact that people actually enjoy watching me and not necessarily me have pro level gameplay.
Yes.
Um, and that's something I've been thinking about a lot with Halo. Something I think about with Magic because I'm not the greatest Magic player in the world, but I genuinely have fun fucking around in that game.
Yeah, it's a good time.
You know, um, RPGs. It's another thing that those are games, especially like the Elder Scrolls. You know, where Bethesda heads. We could shut the fuck up and let the soundtrack do all the work and just play the
Mm,
game.
yeah.
And people would probably be kind of into it. You know, so that balance is something I think about often. Um, but I also think that ties back into kind of what we were saying earlier as far as doing what we feel is right and what we want and it's true to us. Once you start thinking about shit too much, it starts to become jobby and all of a sudden you're making these adjust. There's a balance. The balance there is more in being yourself versus doing things that you know people want to see than anything else. It's not necessarily about being entertaining versus playing or anything. It all comes back to, am I going to be myself here and play how I want to play, be as entertaining as I want to be, depending on the game and the context? Or am I taking into account the user or the viewer experience, and allowing that to dictate kind of how I play these games?
Mm,
And for me, I tend to err on the side of I'm just gonna be myself. So
yeah.
I was playing Halo, I was interacting with chat sometimes. Someone followed me, and I looked over onto my other monitor so I could see their name. Of course, I got fucking killed. I whatever. I want to thank this person for following me. Thank you for following. What's up? I'm interacting with chat. I'm looking over. I'm getting BR'd, like my head's gone. You know what I mean?
Thanks for killing me, asshole.
It was like at that, and that's when I realized I was like, man, I'm here to have fun. I'm gonna have fun with this.
Mm.
I'm not gonna take this super duper seriously.
Yep.
And I think coming to that realization per game, within context, per stream, whatever, is the important part.
That's really important, man.
Flexibility, adaptability.
Flexibility, adaptability, and having fun. I think that's really important. And it's tricky because this is a thing that people can take seriously. Like Twitch streaming is a thing that you can take seriously. And there is a certain degree of self-analysis that can help you to experience, I guess, a little more incentive to do this thing that you presumably enjoy doing if you're streaming on Twitch. And I think keeping that in check is really tricky, right? Like keeping aware of that while not losing sight of the whole fucking reason in the first place, which is to have a good time. And being yourself is hard. How do you find the idea of being yourself in real life outside of Twitch?
Um, Taxing. That's why I don't really go outside much. I'm very, especially now that I'm living on the West Coast in Oregon, it's a
Mm,
very passive aggressive and not super communicative environment. And not even like, there's a negative connotation to everything that I just said. It's different. I grew up on the East Coast. I was born on the East Coast.
mm,
I'm very direct. I'm very blunt. And I wear my emotions on my sleeve. You know what
mm.
I'm saying? So I'm not afraid to say what I think or speak my mind or call something stupid. I don't really attack people very much, but I'm not afraid to attack an idea.
Yeah.
Um, and when you're that person in a specific environment, it can be really hard to be yourself, which can be really taxing. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
When you're
And
outside
Twitch
of
is the same way.
totally, totally.
Yeah.
I guess it's like less geographic though, isn't it? Because you, to some extent, coming back, well, probably entirely, you're aware of what it's going to be. So you know what that is and what comes with it. Whereas Twitch, there's no geographical landscape that can be attributed to a particular stream.
Hmm.
Um, I guess it would.
Chad.
I guess it's chat, and I guess it's the games that attract certain people. I guess gaming is the I guess the title is the landscape in a way, or the
The
like.
zeitgeist. It's the spirit of the times within the infrastructure of Twitch. How are people feeling? Like we're talking about like mindfulness and like all the tags and shit. And how a lot of people like to say we live in a softer time, a more politically correct time. I think that is the geographic landscape. Like what's the internet? What's our age group? What's our age bracket? The people who play video games. How do they think and feel about things? What kind of people do they like to be around and experience?
Mm, mm,
And
yep.
usually it's people who are maybe a bit more progressive, left leaning,
Yep.
nicer, not quite as straightforward or blunt about certain things, or straightforward and blunt in a way that trends towards things that people agree with. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah.
So you're right. It's not so much a geographic thing as like a spirit of the times thing and an environment thing, like the digital sphere.
Okay.
Um,
So let's stick with this. So that's the spirit of the times. You see it, don't you? And isn't that crazy that that isn't geographic? Isn't that
it's
crazy
insane.
that it's global? Well, but actually it's not Chinese because they're not on fucking Twitch.
That's literally what I just thought. As soon as you said global, I was like,
It's mostly
motherfuckers.
global. It's mostly
Mostly
global.
global. Yeah.
It's but Twitch is actually, if we look at Twitch, maybe YouTube will be a little different. YouTube probably spans a little wider, but Twitch is actually only a certain collection of countries for the most part. What is it?
Interesting.
Well, if you think about it, US, UK, Canada, I guess Australia's in there. Um, I see some French, some
Ko-
Spanish,
Korea's pretty heavy, and
Korea.
Japan
Well, Japan's really
not so much.
not really like
Mm,
you'll see Japanese. Excuse me, but well, I was speaking with Agus Kuhn, who's living over in Japan, and it's not that like even though like a lot of these games were developed in Japan, it doesn't seem to be a huge thing, or the culture's a little different there. Where I think a lot of Japanese will be VTubers. They don't
right.
want to necessarily be like, here I am, look at me. Um, but I think Germany as well, I guess, and Russia. Russians love Heroes of Might and Magic 3. I know that.
Really?
The Russians, do you know Heroes of Might and Magic?
Mm-mm.
Old fucking so it's an old school turn-based, not really a 4x strategy, but kind of like a town building and army building and battling sort of can be kind of competitive. It's from like I don't know, maybe 1999 or 2000 or something like that, but it's still huge in Russia. And
Oh
at
my
any
god.
one point, if you go to it, there's like streams like 3,000 people watching someone play competitively Heroes of Might and Magic 3. So I know they're doing that. Uh, China's not there. Who else are we missing? The
Pretty much it.
South America and Africa, I don't see a lot of streams coming from there. So it's really only like the Western world plus a few other nations that are doing it.
Yeah.
But it does. I
So
guess
it's
it's
our
still
culture
yeah,
and spirit of the times.
yeah,
Right.
which is still a shit ton of people. Like
Right.
it's like at least a billion, right?
Hmm.
But it used to be. I don't know. I feel like not that long ago it would be that the culture here it would be limited to here, and then if I crossed a fucking ocean, presumably that ocean acts as some kind of barrier of communication and the factors that create a culture, right?
Right.
But I guess that's just globalization and technology.
I saw an argument with someone once where so much for not being negative anymore, dark,
Let's
but
do it. Let's do it.
someone had got shot over here, right before COVID hit, and even like first year of COVID, that was like a big thing over here. Motherfuckers were getting shot by police like every week, it felt like. But
Hmm.
I was on Twitter, which is a great place to be when these things happen,
Oh, I
if you want
bet.
to people watch,
Hmm.
um, and saw someone who was actually Australian and German arguing with someone who was American. And the American person was, the old story. It's overblown, out of proportion, blah, blah.
Sure.
Comply and you won't die type shit, whatever.
Okay.
And they're like, well, why do you care anyway? You're not even from here. And then the German person and the Australian person were like, yo, but I have friends in America
Mm,
who are black, people I care about,
mm,
who talk to me about these things, and who I'm worried for,
mm.
irrespective of whether you think it's something like they're silly for being aware, whatever. The point is the feelings are real
Yeah.
and their perspective is real.
Yep. Yep.
And then it hit me, it was like, oh, like these things, there's no barriers of any sort anymore.
That's true. When friendships, when relationships can be built, then compassion and empathy and I guess investment in things
Right.
that necessarily wouldn't necessarily affect you at all comes into the picture. Yeah, but still, I think Aussie should shut the fuck up about anything that happens in other countries. Personally, we got our own
Fuck
problem.
up.
We got our own fucking
We
problems,
got other
man.
things going on.
We got our own problems.
Investment's a great word.
Mm.
I remember, and this is a bit of a tangent, when I was doing my Just Chatting Burrito stream. I was
I
talking
like
about
that. I
building
like that a burrito's involved in that stream. By the way,
always a
that's
burrito
important.
and a margarita. This place
Oh,
does fucking to-go
oh,
margaritas in like 16-ounce jug, 24-ounce jugs.
oh my god,
It's like, oh man, you killing me with this shit.
delectable.
Um, man. But I was like, building community, that was my main thing. Like, how do you build communities that are inclusive, that are graceful, forgiving, but
Mm,
also strong, like tight bonds?
mm,
was talking about this people, and I came up with the idea that there has to be investment. There almost has to be a level of dependency on each other where it's not so easy to get Johnny the fuck out of here when he does something stupid.
Yeah.
A, because we all love Johnny, but also B, because Johnny provides something to the community that we're all going to miss like shit when we kick him out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So building those communities is like finding people who you value and you can invest time and energy and social capital in.
Mm.
And the grace part comes from the strengthening and tightening of those bonds and finding actual value in those people. So it's not so easy to just dip or kick them out or ghost them. You know, it's almost like you ever been in a really shitty relationship and you should just get out of, but you don't
Oh
want to
yeah.
get, you don't put so much time in. You spend 6 years with this person, 2 years with this person. We're gonna figure this shit out, right?
Yes.
It's almost like we almost have to trap ourselves with each other to build strong, tight knit communities.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's really well said. And I think I came in actually right at the end of that conversation when it was happening. You're like, oh, you missed something. I'm like, oh, fuck, I missed something. God damn it. Yes, I think so. I think so. It's the question of how that's done is another question. I think a lot of it's just time spent, but also I think there's got to be a certain level of confidence to be able to exist within a certain sphere. You know, I've spent a lot of my life as an English language teacher, and one of the hardest things, one of the most important things rather, is instilling confidence to express yourself in students. It's no big deal to teach the present perfect tense, the past perfect tense, future continuous. This shit comes, different adjectives, prepositions, whatever, irregular verbs. That's fine. That's an equation we're going to get to. But language is the mechanism through which we express ourselves and connect with other human beings. And if you do not have the confidence to know that you can say something, and whether or not people agree or disagree, that people are still going to see your essential humanity and, like you said, the value that they have in that circle, then it's never going to happen. And so I really think that's a really good point. Like, I think you do have people are scared to say shit, and I don't mean like scared to say shit. I think people are scared of not fitting in lots of places, and people there's the guy I've spoken about before who I banned and unbanned from my channel, and he still hangs out there, and he's like a really important part of that shit now, you know, and some of the stuff he shared with me and us, sorry, me and everyone there, is some real fucking shit, you know, some real human shit about him trying to connect with the world and some of the things that haven't worked for him and just stuff you would talk to friends about.
Mm-hmm.
But only good friends, to be honest, to be fair. Like, maybe you wouldn't talk to some friends about this shit. And I have such an understand. I don't want to say I understand this guy like the same way that he understands himself. Not at all. But I have enough of an understanding of this guy now to really value him. So, to the point where he can say, he left with some shit that, like, fuck, man, if someone came in and said that shit, like, immediate banning. And I had to say, don't ban him. You know, like, it's like, because I get it now. You know, and that is a community thing. And it's not that I want everyone to be these fucking shitlords that are just like, oh, I have a sad story. By the way, you're a fuckwit. You know, like it's but I think like I that really resonated with me what you were saying about not immediately kicking people out. And how do you go about it though? Like, is that something? Is there a shortcut, or is it just a time process over time?
I think it's a process over time and state of mind. in which it's not even, it's the journey and the destination. So there's
Mm.
no shortcut because as you're doing it, that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You, you have a thing where it's like, okay, we have, everything has to have a code. There's some things that are unacceptable. You know
Of
what I'm saying?
course. Of course.
In whatever community you can think back from time, whenever the fuck BC to now,
Mhm.
there's some things that you just don't do if you want to exist in certain spaces.
Of course. Of course.
Outside of those things, just playing it by ear and communicating,
Mm.
but hey, we don't do that shit here. You know what I'm saying? And then seeing what people are about, and either they get it or they don't. Like, and that's a part of the selection process.
Mm.
Perfect example, like you just gave. Banned and unbanned. The unbanned, I'm sure there's still going to be things because people are themselves. And when you instill that confidence in people to be themselves within your sphere and your circle, there are things that are going to peek out that maybe are on the fringe of the community or on the fringe of yourself, your own personal tastes and things that you find to be acceptable.
Mm.
But that's a part of having that there. That's a part of the reality of community.
Yeah.
And as long as there's not a pattern of them habitually stepping over a line that you find to be unacceptable or the community finds to be unacceptable, then there's value there because you're letting them be there. If they weren't valuable in some way, you wouldn't have fucking unbanned. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'd be gone. The
Yeah.
community would have found some way to phase them out. They wouldn't be welcomed. They wouldn't be having a good time there. Even if you didn't mean to, you maybe would interact with them less than everyone else. Over time, I feel like things play themselves out as long as people aren't crossing specific lines that you have set. That, of course, are going to be seasoned to taste different for everyone.
Yeah. Well
But
said.
time, like you said, time is the key factor. And it
Mm.
can go the other way. You can think someone's cool, and over time, not so much. You know,
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. And yeah, and you're right. It does differ from space to space. Do you think this comes into another probably the final thing I'd like to speak with you about before we get into the quiz,
oh
which I
baby,
still don't have a title for. And I think I promised I would come up with one, but I haven't.
oh no,
But at least I have the quiz. No.
that's the important part.
It's the quiz. It's the quiz.
That's it.
The quiz. Which quiz? It's the
Boom.
quiz. Okay, we got it. I figured it
I
out.
like it.
I'll write this down.
Yeah, write that down. PortoWave. right.
The
Next to
quiz.
PortoWave, we got that down.
That's right. We did it. All right, and that is creator responsibility for the community. How much? Wait, no, you wrote this down. I shouldn't. I'm see for people listening. I'm
Take
sort
credit
of
for my shit.
I am posing as if I've created all of these questions. This is about a 50-50 situation with the ideas, and I'm just pretending that they're mine and asking Blue as if he's hearing it for the first time. But this was one of yours. So what did you mean by that? What do you want to talk about?
Responsibility for the community. The way you just asked it was perfect, especially coming off of what we just spoke about. If you are actually trying to build a community and you're not just using that word to describe a group of people who fuck around and watch you play video games, then you are responsible for it. You have a Discord channel, right?
Yes.
You have if you have mods in your channel, you feel some sort of responsibility for what the fuck goes on in your channel. You know what I'm saying? Unless they're just there to ban people who annoy you. It's like, no. If you have chat rules in your channel,
Yep.
you feel some kind of responsibility for what goes on in your channel, right? If you want to build a community, to build that, you have to build a place, not necessarily where people feel safe and secure, but at least where people want to be and spend time. And
Yep.
safety and security tends to be a part of like why people want to be places. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or just the elimination of annoying shit. Like
Yeah.
I think it's not. Sometimes it's not just about annoying the streamer. I actually get more annoyed when I'm in other people's streams. I get annoyed for them.
Hmm.
I get annoyed for interactions they're forced to have. I get
Hmm.
like, oh fuck off,
Oh God,
fuck,
it's that secondhand embarrassment.
shut the fuck up. You know, like no one cares. But then that's just me again. Like often I have to check myself, and I won't like sometimes if in certain moods I'm tempted to engage with them, and then I'm like, no, 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 don't be doing this because it's not. Again, I am a visitor a lot of the time to these communities. Sometimes I might be a frequent visitor, other times less frequent. So then, if you're responsible for this community as a creator with a Discord and a Twitch channel and other various things, I'm trying to think in oldie worldy terms. Are you like the mayor of the town?
Yeah,
Yeah. So what kind
the
of
mayor, the
the
sheriff,
sheriff? Oh, I feel like the sheriff is the mods of the sheriffs.
the mods are the sheriffs for sure.
I feel like you're the mayor.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
what kind of mayor? If we're let's move this into like a fictional like let's call it like a Skyrim town or like a Morrowind town or something like that. And you're the mayor or the I know they don't really have mayors, but you know what I mean.
Hmm.
You're the leader of this town. What kind of a mayor are you? What kind of a mayor do you envision yourself as, or would you want to be uh, in this elaborate metaphor for being a Twitch streamer?
Take it back to House Telvanni, dude.
Oh
We're all
shit!
made. We're all mages here. You do whatever the fuck you want.
Holy
Don't steal
shit!
from one of us. Don't kill one of us. Anything else is fair play.
Damn.
And we,
Damn, man.
that's
That's
that.
not the answer I expected to tell Barney.
That's that good
Woo.
shit.
Damn, man.
You know,
Mushroom House
hierarchy
business.
based on straight merit, power, what you can bring to the table. That's a great. You know what I mean? That's a thing.
Tell Vine. I
That's a thing.
mean, look, they have conviction. I'll give them that.
Hmm.
They do have conviction. Uh, yeah, and they
Completely
do.
unrealistic answer. I am 100. I love that, and I aspire to be a part of something like that someday. That's 100% not my shit. I'm more like Uncle Crashius, fucking inappropriate house lalu, fucking I'll give you
Ah!
some coins for a kiss type shit. You know
Oh
what I mean?
shit! Right. Yeah.
Um,
Writing the script, finishing your script for was it the bow-legged Argonian or no? What's it called?
some dumb shit he was
The
writing.
oh my god! Did you
I
read
forget what it.
the lusty Argonian
The
maid?
Lusty Argonian Maid,
Fuck.
which I've been promising to do readings of that story volume by volume for a long time, and I haven't. I need to do
I
that.
summoned Spudsy Spudsy was summoned to my channel while I was playing one of the expansions for Morrowind. And the first thing I did is I'm like, oh, Spudsy's here, and I pulled it up and made him read that shit out loud. Because I just coming out of his mouth, I feel like it just there's a certain tone in which it's going to come out of his mouth. Man, that's some suggestive shit. So you'd be Crassius Curio, the lecherous yet lovable
Yeah,
creative that we just can't help but return to.
man,
I'm in,
that's the vibe.
I'm into that. I'm into that. Uh, I think honestly, I feel like I would be. I can't think of an equivalent within the games as a character, but I feel like I'm this kind of as soon as you mentioned Discord, I started thinking of this kind of reclusive mayor
Mm,
that when the events happen, when the things happen, the mayoral the mayoral duties happen, is there in full spirit and is very like very doesn't seem reclusive
mm,
and very personable and is this and that, but then returns to the fort or returns to the manor,
mm,
returns to the manor, conducts his business in private in the manor, and so people like the mayor in public. Oh yeah, yeah, had a good time with him. We had a few drinks one night. Oh, it's quite funny, blah blah blah. But there's a certain disconnect from the mayor, and so I don't know if they love the mayor.
mm.
They like the mayor's presence, but they don't love the mayor. The mayor is kind of at arm's reach. That's the kind of mayor I am,
That's great.
and that's why
That's why we're such good
I'll
friends.
be overthrown eventually. by
Yeah, I'm
by
like
someone who loves being there all the
by
time.
me. By
Yeah.
me. Take all your shit.
Damn. Take
Give me a
all
kiss.
my chambermaids. Oh no, but Crassy is probably after the chamber servants, not the chambermaids. Damn.
Whatever, we'll take what we can get. We're
That's
not picky. Yeah.
I got dozens, a variety.
Man, plenty to go around. Toxic conversation.
Oh, absolutely. But no, there really is a responsibility, but at the same time, I don't think you can go outside of your personality in a way, like or go outside of your strengths. And the truth is, on some level, I am reclusive. No, I'm not reclusive. I just value privacy. I value privacy, and when it's time for socializing, I'm gonna socialize. And when it's not time for socializing, I'm not gonna socialize, and I'm not gonna share much. And that's just a way that I'm kind of archaic, and I'm a bit of a boomer. How much do you share of yourself outside of stream? Or how much do you share of yourself personally in general on stream even?
Not much. I'm very open about myself personally. I let my personality shine through. I try to be as close to real me as possible.
Yep.
Streaming is one of the few places where I don't have a mask on and try to be like something else. But as far as things that go on in my life, like we talked a bit before, where it's like relationships that we have with people who we're in, whatever. Like I value my privacy in that realm, where it's like outside of myself, and things that are going on in my life that are, like personal things. But as far as like me, the blue that you get, the Claude that you get, that is as real as probably more real than it should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That does make a lot of sense, actually. Because I think circumstances don't always dictate who you are. And I do hear what you're saying, that just sharing yourself and how you interpret things and how you interact with the world is probably more almost more intimate in a way than talking about your details and circumstances and this happened and that happened and blah blah blah. Do you?
God, on that, I was watching this YouTube channel, and like there's like 4 people in a panel, 2 of whom used to date, and they were arguing about their breakup, and the dude was like
on a panel.
Yeah, it's like some Twitch. I'm pretty sure they were streaming this live, or it was like a YouTube stream or some shit like that. And you're like, and the dude was like, "Are we gonna be able to not talk about this anymore?" And then the girl was just crying, and "You're mean. You're not taking me seriously. You want to apologize, etc., etc."
Why would you do that in front of an audience?
Exactly. So that's the kind of shit that I'm like, this is not quite me.
Yeah, nah, no, thank you.
Yeah, I wish I could remember what that was, but I mean, I also am glad that I don't remember.
Because it's time.
It's time
for the quiz.
For the quiz.
It's time for the quiz. Are you ready for the quiz?
I'm ready.
Okay. I have 5 questions for you, Blue. Multiple choice.
Perfect.
What did you get last time? I think you got 2.5 out of 5.
2 out of 5. Ugh.
That's it's not the gold standard I was hoping for.
We'll call it what it is. It's garbage.
And remember, you can play along at home. Let me try that again. Cut that bit out. Remember, you can play along at home. So, we have 5 questions, mostly regarding gaming. I won't say I've tailor-made them for you, but I think you'll have some familiarity with the subject matter. Let's start with number 1. Are you ready, Blue?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Absolutely good. According to a recent survey regarding toxicity in games by the Anti-Defamation League, which community revealed the highest percentage of online abuse?
League of Legends.
Well, let me give you the 5. Was it A, League of Legends, B, Dota 2, C, Counter-Strike, D, Valorant, or E, Minecraft?
Jesus. If the answer is Minecraft, that'd be depressing, because the only time I've seen people playing that game, they were like 12 or 10 years old. I'm gonna say League, man.
Okay. Yeah. So I did a little research into this, and this is why I used this survey. Most online lists will say League. Like when you go to listen, like what are the most toxic communities? Most of them will have League at just like front and center. But in this survey, I think it was over like 2,500 people aged up to like 45 by the Anti-Defamation League. I don't know what they do. I guess they do this kind of stuff.
Oh, it's fucking. They wear capes and fly around.
I seriously. To the Anti-Defamation Cave.
I'm sure they do great work when you not be an asshole.
Oh, I'm sure they're lovely. Actually, according to the league, the Def League as we call them, it was actually Valorant.
I'm not surprised.
So,
okay,
79% of people who were surveyed that have played Valorant more than X amount of times, I don't know what the number is, have reported being abused or intimidated online. No.
You know what it is? It's the mics.
It's the mics.
That's kind of unfair because you can talk in Valorant. And the other ones, you can't talk in League, you can't talk in Dota, you can't talk in Minecraft, as far as I know.
It's the mics.
Unless you're on Discord.
Okay. So people get on there and go, you fucking loser scrub.
As soon as you start doing bad in a game that involves a gun, your teammates will start shitting on you. So actually, when you put it like that, I'm not surprised. Whereas League, people got to type shit out, you know.
So they gotta really, yeah.
Yeah. It's a great question. That was a good one.
I thought you'd like that one. Yeah. And Minecraft was the lowest. However, it was still 48% of people who played Minecraft but you have to be careful though.
Someone playing that shit.
Well,
did you build in blocks or something? What is that?
I think the definition of abuse may be loose as well.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's up to the person who's taking the survey's discretion. Right. I think you or I, what would be considered abuse might be different to the average Minecraft user. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Fair, absolutely.
All right, let's move to number 2.
Over 1 coming in hot.
Over 1 coming in steaming. Speedruns. Which of these games, and they're all Bethesda games, by the way.
There we go.
Which of these Bethesda classics has the fastest world record speedrun? And they're all glitched, so it's all they can do whatever shit they can do, they do. Is it A, The Elder Scrolls Part 3 Morrowind? Is it B, The Elder Scrolls Part 5 Skyrim? Is it C, The Elder Scrolls Part 4 Oblivion? I don't know why I did them in that order. That kind of confused me saying. Is it D, Fallout 3?
Ooh.
Or is it E, and this is only technically a Bethesda game, Fallout New Vegas? Which of these has the fastest speedrun? I'll give you a little extra information. It's under 5 minutes.
I think it's either Fallout 3 or Morrowind. I'm gonna say Morrowind.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
Okay.
Ruin me.
So the Bethesda title with the fastest speedrun recorded 1 month ago at a speed of 2 minutes and 32 seconds was in fact The Elder Scrolls Part 3 Morrowind.
Oh man.
Nicely played.
The game.
Nicely played.
That shit in 3 minutes. What the hell kind of glitches were they doing?
Have you seen any of the speedruns for that shit?
Mm-mm.
Absurd. Do yourself a favor. After we speak, Go watch it. Spoiler, it won't take long. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just ridiculous. It involves, I think it involves like the fucking flying at some
the
point, and
flying
the
scrolls.
flying. I think it involves the flying scroll, and shit gets weird.
Mm.
Uh, but the one I saw is probably was 3 minutes. They've somehow shaved 30 seconds off it. I fuck knows how they did that. Okay, question 3. Which was the longest of those 5 games? And this one's over 20 minutes. There was another one that was very close, and the 4 of them are under 20 minutes. There's one that's over 20 minutes. And it's Morrowind, which you know it's not, Skyrim, Oblivion, Fallout 3, or Fallout New Vegas.
Skyrim.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the slowest, fastest speed run, that sounds a bit weird. The longest, fastest speed run was at a grand total of 22 minutes and 58 seconds, was in fact the Elder Scrolls Part 5 Skyrim.
Boom.
Nice. What made you say that, by the way?
There's so much shit in that game that you have to do to progress it. You gotta go talk to these old dudes. Like, man, I can't. Obviously, you said glitches were a thing, but I can't imagine beating that game in only 20 minutes, even if you're trying real hard.
I feel like you got to get through that dragon shit at the start.
Yeah,
You
it's like
know,
that 10 minutes right there.
yeah.
You
You
know,
can probably do some nonsense once you fucking get out of that, but so just for curiosity's sake, Morrowind was the fastest at 2 minutes 32. Second was Oblivion, very close.
oh,
2 minutes and 53 seconds someone's beaten Oblivion in.
game sucks. Not surprised. Fuck Oblivion.
Yeah, I can't bring myself to play it. Well, you know what? You know what it was that made me not play it was when I found out that the enemy scale.
I hate that.
What the fuck? That's
I'm
the
level
whole
50. I
point.
can't kill a fucking bear.
That's the whole point of leveling is the feeling that you're getting stronger. Why would you
Man.
take the one of the quintessential things of an RPG out of the RPG? Motherfucker. Anyway,
Unreal.
there's another game. So I know you're not a Final Fantasy fan. I know you're not. But Final Fantasy VIII was a game that also did that. The enemy scaled with you. But Final Fantasy VIII had a system that was so broken that it did not matter. Like, it was more about figuring out how to abuse this system they had, and it didn't. Levels meant nothing. But I imagine that's not the case in Oblivion.
Nope.
The third quickest was New Vegas at 9 minutes and 36 seconds. Which is, I mean, that's still pretty fucking quick. Beating a Bethesda game in less than 10 minutes. Fallout 3 was 14 minutes and 15 seconds.
Okay. Glad I picked Morrowind. Wasn't even close.
Wasn't even close. So that's
I
two.
also haven't beaten Fallout 3, so
Oh, you haven't?
I need to do that.
I really like Fallout 3. I really, really
It looked
like.
like you had a blast playing that shit.
I
So
really,
good.
really, really liked Fallout 3. That's 2 for 3, Blue. That's you're already on par with last time. So just get one of these next two and we're good.
Beautiful.
Question 4. And we're stepping a little bit away now. A little bit out of the Bethesda realm, but we might return.
How could you?
Which of these 5 games is currently the most expensive on Steam? And there's no sales. No sales involved. Which base price of these games is currently the most expensive on Steam? A. Hades.
Okay.
B. Skyrim Anniversary Edition.
She.
C. 2016's Doom Reboot. D. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. E. Soul Calibur 6. It's a bit of a spectrum there of games. I'm throwing a bit of a spectrum at you. Hades, Skyrim, Doom Reboot, Witcher 3, or Soul Calibur 6.
I bet it's Soul Calibur, dude. I bet it's Soul. But you know what? I'm gonna say I don't think it's Hades. I don't think it's The Witcher. God knows it could be The Witcher because motherfuckers will have 10-year-old games still costing $60.
People do love a good $60 10-year game.
Bethesda refused to put shit on sale. I think when I bought Morrowind last year to start streaming, it was $20. I'm gonna say Skyrim, which is wild.
Okay.
Papa Todd don't play no fucking game.
Don't mess about.
Pay me for my shit.
Pay me the big
answer.
bucks. Skyrim's your final answer. Okay. The most expensive game currently of the 5 on Steam is actually your original idea, Soul Calibur 6.
Soul Calibur.
At
Fuck.
$85 fucking dollars for Soul Calibur 6 with base game, which is like for you know, it's a good fighter, I'm sure, but like I don't think it's like not that it's a few years old now. $85 fucking dollars. To be fair, Skyrim was $55 for a 10-year-old game.
I thought Soul Calibur would be like 50.
Soul Calibur was
85.
85.
They're drunk. That's a glitch.
That's ridiculous, mate. That's
can't be.
outrageous. The Witcher 3 was 60. That's also ridiculous. Like
They still want 60 for that?
but it goes on sale a lot. The Witcher 3 was like 20 a few weeks back, but the base price is 60.
Should make me not want to play video games. These motherfuckers are charging us, bro.
They're charging. But
taxing.
that's why I basically only buy on sales. Because things generally go on sale. Like I got Morrowind for like $10 on GOG.com. Hades, 36. This is AUDs, by the way. Let me rewind.
Oh, okay.
Let me rewind.
Cool.
So actually Soul Calibur probably is 60.
It's probably $60.
Yeah.
Got you.
Skyrim's probably 40. Witcher's probably 40. Hades is 35. That's probably like 25, 26.
Okay.
The Doom 2016 reboots the same is actually the cheapest of all of them, which I found a little bit surprising, given that it is.
Nobody play no Doom. That's why.
I feel like people were playing that game. Weren't people playing that game?
Probably. I've never played it.
It was like it was a big game as well. Like it was like graphically quite impressive. I mean, I didn't play it either, but
Looked beautiful.
it looked beautiful. So 2 out of 4, which gets
Right
us
back
to
at 40%.
the finale. Make or break right here.
Can't win.
Question number 5. Which Bethesda game, we're going back to Bethesda, baby.
Beautiful.
Which Bethesda game has the highest user score on Metacritic? Which of these Bethesda games has the highest user score on Metacritic? Is it A, Skyrim, B, Oblivion, D, Morrowind, C, Morrowind, D, Fallout 3, or E, Deathloop?
Sure as fucking Deathloop. So you can get that out of here.
User score as well. Yeah, keep that in mind. User score.
What I say.
Yeah.
Deathloop.
I'm not saying anything.
Oh, man. Whether it's right or wrong, I got to stay true to my heart and say Morrowind, because that's the best Bethesda game of all time. And any sort of indication of it not being is nonsensical. So even if I'm wrong, I'm still right.
Okay. Interesting take. Let's go from the bottom up. The lowest at 4.8 was Deathloop.
Yeah.
People did not like that game. What was wrong with that game? I didn't play it.
It had a black protagonist. No, I'm just kidding.
Trash! I demand a refund.
Yeah, motherfuckers can't sell that shit.
Damn. Is it actually a good game?
I wouldn't know.
It sounds interesting. It kind of sounds like a roguelike. But the whole loop part, but I just never played it. The second lowest, 4th, was Fallout 3 at 7.8. This one might surprise you. Skyrim. Didn't surprise you.
Yeah.
Skyrim, but 8.6.
That game fucking sucks too. Oblivion and Skyrim not good.
8.6.
Sorry, Todd.
Todd, come on.
Damn.
I think Skyrim's good. I don't think it's Morrowind.
Skyrim's a good game. I'm full of shit.
Yeah, I think Skyrim's good. I don't. It's not. It's maybe not Morrowind, but it's. So this one's very close though. So third is 8.6, second is 8.7, and first is 8.8. So the users are, I wouldn't say divided, but there's a lot of love for the 3 among users.
I know a lot of people love Oblivion.
Yeah.
I'll never understand it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people love that
People
game.
love it. Second at 8.7 is Oblivion. Morrowind has the highest user score.
You're fucking right, it does.
Any Bethesda game. And I thought you'd like that one. And I was hoping that it would be like this. I'm hoping that Morrowind would pull you through there. Nicely played.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. That's a pass, baby.
On the back of the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind.
Yeah. Everything's on the back of the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. My whole channel is on the back of the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind.
Fam. Same.
Yeah.
Same. I need to do a Morrowind stream again.
Totally.
I need to have that be a thing.
Totally.
I still haven't beaten the DLCs for that game. Blood Moon.
Don't.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, I didn't play. Oh no, I did play. I did do both. I did Tribunal and Blood Moon. I quit Blood Moon. I quit it.
That was the. I quit Tribunal. The
Tribunal.
Sewers, I'm not trying to be in these fucking sewers for 2 hours.
Tribunal was boring. Blood Moon was better, but it's like I want to be on Vardenfell. Like
Right.
it's the same ish game, but it's just not the same. Like I want that mystery of this gigantic island that I can peruse at will, and there's all these secrets and mysteries, and it just felt like watered down. Yeah, I don't know. It was fine, but I was like, meh, whatever. Just take me back to the base game. Congratulations on passing the test, passing the quiz. Thank you so much for speaking with me, Blue.
Anytime.
There's more. Again, there's always more to talk about. We'll have to do it again. Thank you for listening, everybody. And take care of yourselves, eh? See you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, before we go, where can we find you, Blue?
I'm Blue Assaguy on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. Come say what's up. You know.
What are you playing next stream?
God.
What are you playing next stream? What are you playing right now next stream? Do you even know?
Right now, I've been really enjoying Enderall, but I've been 100% addicted to Halo, and Halo was also fun as shit to stream. Ironically, my Magic the Gathering streams have netted me the most viewership I have ever gotten on Twitch consistently, which is strange as fuck. So I will be playing more Magic. For whatever reason, people like watching me struggle through that bullshit. More Magic soon.
You got to learn to draft, man. You got to learn to draft.
I
learn to draft.
I missed out on Crimson Vow. I wanted to go do it at the card shop, but I don't know how to draft. I'm gonna go fucking be embarrassed.
Dude, do it. So we got to. Let me know next time you stream. You can do it. Do a quick draft on Magic the Gathering Arena, and you have unlimited time to pick. I'll help you through it. You'll love it.
Save up the coins for it, and we'll do it.
You'll love that shit. You just need 5,000 coins for it.
Okay.
You'll love that shit. It's great fun.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Blue, for joining me. You're the best. As always, great chat. I'll cut out all of my bullshit and all of my shit, and it'll be a good episode. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you all next time. Fare thee well.
Peace.